Welcome to the Nues AI Moment, 35 game-changing tools and tips for mastering AI. The AI Moment was designed for the Nues ESL endorsement courses, but can be used by any teacher, with any student in any classroom. Enjoy! AI Moment, Finding the Level. In this lesson, we are going to help teachers find the level of their ELL learners. And this can be very complex, as every type of assessment and every has different levels, and understanding the data and what the students can or can't do or where they're at is very important. So getting to know your student is incredibly important. But this is also learning how to prompt with AI, how to be specific and tell AI what you want it to look at to give you the information. So it's simple. It's more than just the old Google, I want this, level my student. It's subtle, but as we go through this year, you'll become an expert in prompting. This is your first lesson. So the prompt that I put in is simply, give me examples and ideas for my third grade students at all the different levels from WIDA. So I'm asking for examples of student achievement or abilities and ideas to help them. There's for third graders, you could say the state of Utah or whatever state you're in, and also from WIDA, which is the consortium with the University of Wisconsin that Utah has entered into to fulfill its requirements for our English language learners. Now, when you get that from WIDA to see what levels your kids are, this is kind of what you get. And teachers are kind of used to this and looking down through kind of a rubric of the different levels from 1 to 6 and different types of listening, speaking, reading, writing examples. And you get into the weeds very quickly. So how do we simplify this? Well, with that prompt, this is what came. So using AI, level 1 entering. Example, a student who can count to 20 but struggles to understand simple word problems. So it actually gives you a window of what the student might be able to do. Now, in this case, it's using math, because I just gave a question to AI about students working with math, so it assumed that it would just use math as an example. But this is where you could actually put in your own lesson plan or assignment, and it would be able to take that and use that content to kind of give you some examples. So go ahead and try that when you do this experiment. A student who counts to 20 but struggles to understand simple word problems. Limited vocabulary and difficult following multi-step instructions. So in a way, you can look at that student and say, do they fit within this level? Is that kind of where they're at? Without having to look through rubrics and get in the weeds of trying to figure stuff out. It's basically real time in your classroom. Are they level 2 emerging? This is a student who can solve basic addition, subtractions, but needs help with word problems. Can't really get through it too well. Can use simple sentences to explain their thinking, but often needs visual aids. A lot of support, a lot of structure. Are they at level 3 developing? An example of a student who can solve multiplication and division problems with support and can explain their reasoning in short sentences. They use more complex sentences. They can follow 2-step instructions, but still needs to support with academic language. Now, this is important, especially because students can really show different levels in different content. They might be really good at math and have a lot of the academic language down, and they also could be struggling in language arts and having problems with grammar and words and vocabulary. And so they might be a level 1 in one and a level 3 in another. And that's perfectly okay. This just helps you find those levels quickly. Are they expanding? Level 4, a student who can solve multi-step word problems, explain their meanings in paragraphs, can use academic language, discuss math concepts, and can follow complex instructions with minimal support. They still need help, but they kind of are able to get most of it done. Bridging, a student who can independently solve word problems and explain their reasoning clearly and logically, uses academic language fluently, and can follow multi-step instructions without support. And finally, level 6, reaching. A student who can solve advanced math problems, explain their reasoning in detail using precise academic language, functions near native proficiency students in academic language, and can follow complex instructions independently. So, in a way, very quickly, we can take the chaos of trying to figure out what levels they are and give teachers a simple, real tool where they can identify where they're at, depending on content, depending on the day, sometimes where they're at. So, hopefully, play with this, run your students through it, and see what a student at the different levels would look like in your classroom. Enjoy.